Listen, welcome to another episode of Warmup. We here, man. Retake. Take two.
Hey, go ahead.
Take two. All right. Because people can't see me coming in laughing like this. It make no sense, but
A few moments later.
ready? Welcome to another episode of the Warm-Up, presented by Grindhouse. You already know. It's your boy Kev RL. We got King Regadora. Man. Reg.
Just go with Brandon Ingram, bro. You good. Just go with Brandon Ingram.
Always confusing me. Welcome to another episode of the Warm-Up. Y'all here with the fellas from Grindhouse, man. We're coming with you. Kev RL. We got Chris Kong in the building, Kurt Zilla, and King Reg Dora. And today we're going to jump with a freestyle episode, man. We're just going to let y'all just get a little peek of what we talk about when we just chilling, laid back, see what's up. So what y'all guys was rapping about right before we hit.
So first thing, yo, I think that me and Kurt Zilla historically have the best names on here. I don't know what this guy over here, King. What is King Restore doing? Like, what does that mean, dude? He had to explain himself every time.
King Ghidorah, the three-headed one, it's all in the Chris Con, the Kurt Zilla. Come on, man. You ain't a fan. That's all it is, bro. Went over his head.
No, did anyone else know what that meant?
Nope.
Okay.
We learning.
Okay.
We learning, right?
Okay.
Hey, educational pod, baby, coming at you.
So you just didn't convey it properly. Your name don't fit into that.
Y'all seen Pacific Rim, right? I gotta explain that one. Okay.
I'm with you, man. I seen Pacific Rim.
Right.
I got it, Pacific Greg, man. I got the play on words.
I just gotta make sure my
Okay.
bars be too heavy for y'all. But what we was getting into, we was talking about like, certain people getting a platform, and we were just kind of talking about like people that we think are stupid. But I was about to say, let's just talk about people that we like, quote unquote, shouldn't have a platform. And the reason I brought that up is because the other day my wife heard me listening to what's his name? Russell Simmons on the Breakfast Club. What y'all think about that?
Russell Simmons.
Should he have a platform or should he not have a platform?
I don't know.
First off, right? No stupid, no idiots, no none of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep it cool. Let's keep it cool. So go ahead. Show what y'all got to show about Russell.
Thanks, Kev. What did he say? I wasn't listening to Hot 97 or was it Breakfast Club?
It's not about what he said. It gets back to what we were just talking about with the platform.
So I think I don't know. I don't have a problem with people speaking as long as you've done your information digging and actually have some evidence to back up your claims and things like that. I think a lot of times we have these people, celebrities, non-celebrities, talking heads, pundits, us, whoever, come in and they talk and they have no basis of information that's kind of where you start from. Like, I think there should always be a foundation of of information that's objective, is neutral, and then from there you can kind of start to build your opinions from. I think a lot of times, man, we hear people talk and it's just like, dude, you didn't even, it's just like the global warming thing. Oh, no, man, scientists are lying. So you just throw away all the evidence and just be out here like, nah, I refuse to acknowledge that. And so I'm just going to disagree on everything. Like,
I got a question about that. Whose job is it to validate these like statements? Like, Twitter leaned forward and now they're like fact checking Trump, right? Yeah. So whose job is it to check this? Like when people talk off the cuff and like, this is far left, who's supposed to, who's the gatekeeper?
In what setting?
Good question.
Unused is the journalist, so we'll fact check them and say they said this and it was not true or it was true.
So now we have to go to another entity, another person to fact check somebody else? Is that what we're saying? So it's not the platform.
That's what I said, depend on the context.
I think it's a platform. I think it's a platform job at least.
Yeah.
So let's keep it all local, just so you don't have to go out there. But each platform, let them do what they do.
So typically, like for example, right, when people, sports journalists, Woj or Jalen or whoever, they drop some breaking news, right? Yeah, Zach Lowe. Jalen Rose has this segment called Broken News, but the reason behind that is in order for them to drop it as like breaking news or like official news, he has to give his sources. And he has to like have them validated, and it's like a couple of internal fact checking essentially before it can even get released. The reason that he goes into broken news is because, and not breaking news, is because of the fact that he has decided to not give up those sources and facts, or like sources of origin to fact check. So he just says, "Hey, I heard from someone, blah 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 blah," and that's it. But usually they say sources according to blah blah blah, whatever, has confirmed that, so like we do fact checking, or at least they do, like the media outlets or the journalists and things like that. They do that internally, but Twitter.
I think we're talking about something different though, because we're talking about, you're not talking about Jalen Rose spitting a fact. We're talking about Jalen Rose has a guest on his show and he says something. I think it's kind of what that angle.
And Pacific Ranch, I like what you're talking about. So let's take it to another name. Let's take it to Candace Owens, right? She has some very controversial views on anything black, right? It's like, this is what black is. She's gonna go left, right, or right, or whatever direction. She has her own viewpoint. I know. So I think, like with her, a lot of what she's saying is her perspective, her opinion. So you can't really fact check that. But is it responsible for her to spew out the things that she says because she has the audience? Like, should we counter that? How should we act to that?
I think part of the problem is the facts that she uses to support her opinion could sometimes be either misconstrued or just flat out wrong. And I from what I see from Candace Owens, it's like if somebody was just like, you just talk to a normal person and they might have certain points of views and certain perspectives that are different outside of the norm. I think when everything you say is just to undermine or go against, it's not really your opinion at that point. I think you just kind of, like, you're carving out a niche. Like, you want to be that person that gets paid to talk shit about black people because you're black. It reflects, like, a certain audience will appreciate that.
So it's not like your opinion. You take the stance of being counter. Like, I want to counter whatever's popular.
Yeah, it's not even what you believe. Like, because we even seen, like, Tommy Lauren, right? There was an instance or two where she said something that went against her audience or something like that. So as flawed as her ideas and thinking are, at least you could say, okay, I think that's how she really thinks and feels. This person just happens to fall in line with everything that you want to hear. You have to question it. Anybody in life. If everything you say just sounds exactly what I want to hear, it'd be like, really? Or the opposite, if everything you say just sounds exactly what I don't want to hear, it's just you really trying it out.
So who do you listen to that you disagree with wholeheartedly?
Who, me?
Yeah. Charlemagne?
That's a good question.
What do you mean, like on a regular basis?
Yeah, why would I listen to them though? I wouldn't even listen to them. I can't even think of that, because as soon as I start disagreeing with some of the things you're saying, at that point I need to kind of stop listening to you, or at least try to figure out, do I have some kind of small-minded way of thinking? Do I need to expand my mind? And then maybe I might go down that path. And if I find that, this path makes no sense, like at that point, it's like, right yeah, I wouldn't even.
I can't think of anybody that I did. But I wouldn't not listen to somebody just because I disagree with them per se though. So and I think you actually kind of missed the context behind the whole Russell Simmons thing, is because some people claim he's hiding in Bali because he got allegedly certain cases in XYZ.
Oh yeah.
And they felt like, by giving him a platform and he's this monster and he's this and he's that.
Yeah. I mean, who's giving up these platforms? At the end of the day, people either create their own platforms by putting out content and getting their followers, or they're being called onto these platforms to say whatever they have to say. So is it them or is it the platforms that the responsibility is on?
That's the problem. The platforms allow them on people and people think it's a problem. Like that was the question I was trying to ask. Is that a problem?
I don't think it is.
Does
think
Russell Simmons get accused and we just supposed to never hear from him again? Like, is that problematic to have him on the show to get his money?
No, I don't think that's the issue, man. I think the platforms provide an opportunity. How you choose to use the opportunity is up to you. as long as it's not hate speech, man, which, we're talking about constitutional stuff now, roll with it, man. And the people can judge it accordingly. So, like, Russell, he's charged, but he does have a right to defend himself, right?
I can rock with that. As long as you ain't going over certain lines, yeah. Like, you should be able to speak your mind.
And I think, if anything, if you could manage this in a positive way, you don't have them both at the same time, but have both. Let both of them say what they have to say. If the victims want to come on the Breakfast Club and say something, they say something. Russell Simmons want to come out and defend himself, he says something. And
yeah.
I don't get the background though. I don't get the context. What's going on with Russell Simmons right now?
So when the whole Me Too thing popped off, there was several women came forward and accused Russell Simmons of sexual assault or misconduct, or like different things, different kind of ways. And right now he's in Bali, and they're saying, "Oh, he's hiding from extradition." Like that's what everybody's saying. Like he's in Bali.
He's in Bali right now.
Yeah, they don't have extradition laws, so everybody's like, "Oh, that's what he's doing." When he came out there, believe him or not, he said, "Oh, he's stuck in Bali because of COVID." And if you actually look, he says he doesn't have any. There's no charges on him. He's not wanted. There's no warrants for his arrest. So, like, that is a moot point.
That's sad, man.
So I don't know.
I didn't even hear about that. That's sad.
Oh yeah.
So how he get on the interview? Was he like, did he dial in or something?
Everything's on the web now.
Yeah, Zoom.
Like he even said himself, he's been to LA, he's been in New York, back and forth because he lives in the US and over there. So this thing about him hiding from extradition isn't true. That's what he said. I don't know what the case is.
Can't know, man.
Some people will be like, "Oh, you're listening to him. Oh, you're giving him the platform." It's kind of that kind of.
That's a tough one. He has that platform not because of what he recently did or recently came out for, but probably because of who he was and what he has done. So that's probably the only reason he's given that opportunity to even speak.
I think he wanted to promote his book, but they weren't going to not ask those questions. So it's kind of that kind of situation.
Buy my book, but don't ask me no questions.
Nah, but you could tell like he's friends of theirs or something like that too. So.
I mean, obviously.
He's Russell Simmons, Yeah.
Did we ever answer the question though?
Yeah, but y'all think about that. Should people be allowed the platform? Should they not be allowed the platform?
Okay.
I think everybody has the right to platform, man, because it's freedom of speech. I think it just shouldn't be hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, but certain platforms, it's different. Like, yeah, we can all have a platform, that's fine, but should I be allowed to go speak in front of the White House press? Like, that's what we're saying. Like, should certain people be not allowed on certain platforms?
I think there's levels to this game, man. Like, I'm not. Washington Post or like New York Times not about to hire my behind to come up there and speak because they have prestige and a level. Like, I'm not about to go to the be like the press secretary of the White House because I don't have that accolades, right? But if Billy Bob or Andre down the street want to have me type on their newspaper, that's a whole other story. I think it's about your audience, and you got to respect your audience.
That probably makes the most sense because some people just ain't equipped to be on certain platforms. If like depending on what that platform is geared towards, is like why bring someone in that's not suitable. So if you answer the general question, should certain people not have a platform? I can think of some people who
not
who
have
crossing the
access
line.
to platforms.
Yeah,
well,
people who crossing the line like hate speech and stuff like that. Yeah, man, like you don't deserve to have a platform.
Or if you're providing if you intentionally providing propaganda or distributing propaganda based on, and you're providing false information, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
You should turn them off.
I feel like that's a unique thing though, because like I'm sure people have done it throughout this time, but I think it's so prevalent now that I feel like that's even what ended up getting Facebook caught up in the beginning, because I think Facebook, like everybody got mad at them, but I feel like there was a period of time where they were going around removing like Pizzagate stuff and whatnot before everybody was blowing up, and they got a lot of pushback from conservatives saying, "Oh, you're like
censoring.
you're being biased and censoring our point of view, when it was like fake news, basically, because it was like fake news promoted by conservatives. So they got sued and they got scared. So they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna let this shit fly. Then after a certain amount of time, everybody's like, oh, why isn't Facebook doing anything about all this propaganda and misinformation? And a lot of Republicans were standing up there grilling them too. And I was just like, y'all, it's the way it is now because of y'all.
Hey, Zuckerberg says, we are not the arbiters of truth. That's his quote all day.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, how you doing? I'm not the arbiter of truth.
This guy.
Hey, Mark, going to Burger King. What you want? I'm not the arbiter of truth. Hey, no lawsuits from Mark, man.
I'm surprised this dude could be so political. Like, coming from the background he came from, like, man, he found that statement and he hanged on to it because that just makes no sense, man. He just taking no responsibility for anything.
Essentially.
Washing
Give him the money, man.
Washing his hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a sticky predicament to be in. Like, what is he supposed to do?
It is, but at the same time, he's like literally not trying to step up in any way, shape, or form. It's like you have created something, and at the end of the day, that something is producing content. And if you stand by your thing, you would allow some things and not allow some other things. Like you would. It's not like you can go up there and throw up some porn on Facebook. That would get torn down.
Yeah. Get torn down quick.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Where do we draw the line on what's inappropriate for certain groups of people, or whatever the case may be, or on what you put out there? Like, just be careful. And he shouldn't just totally wash his hands. I understand that he can't pretty much oversee the whole thing. People are putting things up faster than it could be examined. But don't make it seem as though you're not going to do anything. Like, whatever. It happens. Let it happen. Do something. Try it.
But the crazy part is, and I think this is the standard that he set, right? Zuckerberg has opted to not say anything with respects to shooting and looting and inciting violence from Trump personally, and refusing to take that down. But people who are users of Facebook will get flagged for hate speech, and their account would be banned for 14 days, however long that is. All you had to do is say all men are trash, and you'd be like reported just like that, right? So,
dude,
so
your
from what I
pocket
heard,
not deep enough, man.
No, it's not even that. Some of these things are a little bit more complex than that, because from what I was hearing is that you basically, if you, Chris, went and did some hate speech, right? Or you said some of the things that Trump did, you might have gotten deplatformed or whatever. The argument some will make is that certain people, like the president of the United States, voice is so important that you can't deplatform him because he might say something that's important. Like
on Facebook?
It doesn't matter. Like
come on, people. Man. Trump doing this right now. Trump making us think that these social media platforms are the way in which information should be disseminated. Like, no, man, that wasn't the case. You wouldn't look on Facebook or anybody for anything. Even if Obama didn't have an account, no one would have cared.
George Bush on MySpace. Let me put it in MySpace.
But can you silence the press? Like, can you silence the president of the United States? Is the question.
If you use that term, can you silence him? Of course, that sounds very harsh. Can you take away his account on Facebook? Yeah, you could do that.
I don't see why.
If that's a way that he communicates, I see the harm in that.
I can't. Nah. I can't touch that.
I mean, the New York Times.
I see the harm in it.
Hold on. The New York Times can choose to not publish anything from Trump if they chose not to. That's the freedom of the press, right? You're not obligated to give them a platform. You do it.
No. What you're saying is very different. What you're saying very different. Facebook itself does not produce content. It's a platform. You're saying, I'm going to remove you from my platform. The president's saying making his own content. You're saying your content cannot make it to the platform. If somebody gets their information from the president from Facebook, I see the damage in saying, because there's disagreement.
But Trump has you thinking that way, Reg. Like, you can't just let him come and recreate the way in which information, and now all of a sudden we hold Facebook. I think
what I said makes sense. And the problem that we need to look at is if there's somebody who's so inappropriate making those kind of comments, why is he the president? I think that's the issue.
I mean, of
I
course.
think that's
yeah.
the issue more
Yeah.
so because even vice versa on the other end of it, there's some people like maybe if you were a sex offender or something, for some people are banned from platforms like that, like Twitter. Now, if the president is actually giving out news on Twitter and you're banned from Twitter, that's like a
Man, what
critical
are you
platform.
saying? It's not. No, it's not a critical platform. He has made it. You know how, like, you're making it seem as though this dude is some like turning water into wine kind of thing. He can't just come into office and just start tweeting stuff and putting stuff on Facebook, and now all of a sudden he is knighted Facebook and Twitter as the
I think
thing.
you're kind of missing the point. It doesn't matter what the technology is. You can't say, oh, because we have mail. If he is using Twitter, to which he has done, to
But he
announce
doesn't need
policy, to
He
announce,
doesn't need to.
he doesn't need to. But if he is using it, if you ban a certain amount of people from it, they are literally possibly missing out on important information. I think you're getting
Wow.
too into the weeds.
Well,
I'm
okay.
just talking about the concept, not the don't think about the platform itself. Think about the concept.
I
But
can't touch
if
that.
you're a citizen of the United States, right?
My concept is you should be able to ban someone from your platform if you choose to.
Exactly.
No matter who that person is. That's the concept.
And I would say I understand the notion that there are people
Yeah.
who are important enough who, if they are using
No,
that
and now you're
platform-
putting it back into the other notion. You see, as soon as you start making the point that it's because he's Trump, he can't do that, is now we getting into the whole, it's not just about the platform now, it's now also him empowering the platform.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the president of the United States. Trump, Trump.
It's
He
gone.
if he
It's
loses
gone.
the office tomorrow, then he cancels his account, throw him in the trash. But while he is president and he's using that to disseminate news,
I can't touch that one. I can't touch
So-
that one. I can't
so-
ride with that one.
Yeah.
I see the error. I see the flaw in that.
So no, I mean,
Reggie,
It's not about
Red.
voting rights.
yeah.
Yeah.
Red, let me make this point, Pacific Red. I see what you're saying, man, because you're saying that the office itself should be able to articulate and deliver news by whatever means necessary, right?
Yeah.
I think that the issue is the person in that office has devalued the importance of it.
Yeah.
And now the platform should be able to say, this is not good for the people. But then we're making the platforms judges, right?
Yeah. And
what's good for the people
how
and
do you
what's
do
not.
that?
So it's tricky.
it gets a
Right.
real slippery slope. So now what?
Yeah, but don't do that,
we
though.
have a president that we like, and now they're like, oh, you know what? Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, so we're going to deplatform them. I feel like it's a slippery slope.
No. I'm not saying that though. I'm saying that if he violates something where you would have canceled Chris's account, Kurtzilla's account, and if he do that thing, he should
He should
be
be liable to
I
this.
he did the
I
same way.
disagree.
Because that's
I
his
disagree.
personal account. But it's a personal account. It's not a presidential account. You're treating it as though it's a presidential account, Greg, because he started using it as the president to disseminate information. But it is not a presidential account.
But he is the president.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It's a personal account. He's using a personal account to disseminate information, but that's how he chooses to use it. That's not what it was intended for. So if I close your account, I'm not closing down the president. I'm closing down Donald Trump, no matter what's behind that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, I maybe you're just not trying to see what I'm trying to say. So that's
I see what you're saying.
I understand everything you're saying, but
I don't understand everything you're saying,
There
too.
are some. I understand that. I believe there are some positions that should have the admin rights. They should not be treated the same as some people need admin privileges. Now, I think you guys are missing a big point, though. I think you're missing a big point.
I'm too old school
right?
for this.
Yeah.
Like this. You can't be arrested if you're the president, right?
Yeah, you should be able to be arrested if you're the president.
No.
I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
You should not be able to be arrested if you're the president.
So a president can go out.
Crazy right now?
Yo, time out. We're 26 minutes in. This is gonna go real deep right now. Y'all wanna close out right here, call the Facebook episode one episode, and let's just turn this into a separate episode because this makes no
Y'all
sense.
crazy. Y'all crazy right now.
We ain't crazy. I don't
Y'all
think we're
are
crazy.
crazy right now.
Crazy at all.
In conclusion,
Listen, time out.
Are you serious? Like,
Thank the people.
y'all are
Thank the
crazy.
people. Yo, thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
This was another
you.
episode of the Warmup, man. Presented by Grindhouse.
subscribe.
Mediator man, Kev RL. Chris Kong,
Lady,
Pacific
y'all
Red,
crazy,
Godzilla.
bro.
Y'all say what y'all gotta say to the people to close up.
Lady, y'all have a good night, man.
Yeah,
Peace,
man.
love, and happiness.
We're gonna pick this up on the other half.
So
All I got is
Y'all crazy, bro. That's all I can say. Y'all crazy. What y'all just